Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Female Filmmakers Fuse with Alexa Polar, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. This is Female Filmmakers Fuse. I'm your host, Alexa Polar, with
Robin Pabello.
Nice pause.
You never do that, that's why.
It's because things are different now. So Alexa Polar and Robin Pabello. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. This is what's great about this podcast is that that sounded really arrogant. We enjoy promoting and helping other female filmmakers self-promote themselves, get out there, talk about what they do, how they got into this industry and whatnot. We do this weekly podcast, and this week the guest was hired on a job, so she wasn't able to be here today, that's great. This is why we're here, because we love it that we're always working, and if we lose a guest because of that, I think that's amazing, and just keep doing what you're doing. Real quick, before I go on and not make any more sense than what I'm already making. Thanks, Robin. You can find Female Filmmakers Fuse on the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, any podcast streaming service out there. You can also find it on YouTube. We place the shows on YouTube. It makes it easier to share on social media. It's under Female Filmmakers Fuse Podcast.
Or you can listen on live and use the LA Talk Radio app and listen to us every Sunday from noon to 1.
There you go. If you wanted to call in, it's 818-602-4929. 818-602-4929. We also have two separate but related Instagram accounts and Facebook. It's Female Filmmakers Fuse, the original one, which is what we're under, and then Female Filmmakers Fuse Podcast, which is dedicated to just the podcast and our guest and what we're doing here. So today we're going to discuss, since it's just Robin and I, so this will be interesting. Should be fun. We're going to discuss the up-and-coming Female Filmmakers Fuse Film Festival.
Second annual.
Yep, that's right. Second annual Female Filmmakers Fuse Film Festival. It takes place in Pasadena.
Old Town Pasadena.
And it spans 2 days. Last year we did it one day. We did all the screenings and award ceremonies in one day. And the turnout was really nice. We had some really great films. This year, it's because of last year, we're doing it in 2 days. So it starts November 1st, which is Thursday, and goes through to November 2nd, the following day, Friday.
That's right. So this year we gave a little more time span in between. So our screenings actually begin at 12 noon. Mm-hmm. They range from 47 minutes to an hour and 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. Each screening, they're only $5. You have a wide variety, which is kind of lovely. So it's got I think there's a feature. There's two features. Both features on each day start at noon. Yes. So we have our first screening is the feature, and then the continuous screenings that we have throughout the day are going to be a variety of web series, shorts, student films, animation, experimental, docs, and documentaries. Mm-hmm. So we have a really wide range. For this year, we actually got 115 submissions from around the world. I think it was over a span of 5 continents, which is fantastic. And we have a wide variety that were selected. So I'm super excited because I've got to watch most of them, but not all of them. Mm-hmm. I'll be there. So hopefully you guys are there. On Thursday night, we actually have a panel of some ladies ranging in different departments, below the line, above the line, across the line, and they're just going to be there, being them, showcasing their work, sharing their knowledge, and just empowering each other, which is quite lovely.
Yeah, we're gonna have Sascha Marie Speer,
which was a guest on our
that's
podcast.
Correct. She was a
she
guest.
was one of the artists.
Yeah, we have 3 ladies that have been guests on our podcast.
So yeah, she was one of the artists that came, and then she also became a filmmaker and teamed up with a local program, youth mentoring program in Los Angeles. And so she displayed her artwork, and then she let us also kind of jump in there with our artistic point of view with capturing Cerebona.
That's correct. Julianne Johnson, who's a stunt woman, stunt coordinator and stunt performer.
Fantastic.
She's going to be there. Candace Vernon is going to be there. I believe she's an actress. I think she does other things as well. If I'm incorrect, I apologize. I don't have the titles in front of me. I just know we have a range of who's going to be there right now. Skylar Barrett, who was a guest here on the show, and Skylar was also part of the Female Filmmakers Fuse Film Festival last year. She was in attendance there. She was one of the filmmakers that got her project on the show, or I'm sorry, at the film festival, and she also won her web series, won Best Web Series last year, and won the Audience Award. Gabrielle, how do you say her last name, Robin?
I just call. Wow, your phone's on? Turn it off.
Sorry.
Rude.
How do you say her last name?
I never say her last name because I mess it up. So I call her Gabby. She is a fellow DP, cinematographer, and she's actually an award-winning, Emmy-winning DP. I've worked with her on multiple shoots. I've worked with her on car commercials, and we did like an Aflac commercial for the Oscars, and then too many to list, but she's fantastic and very talented. So I'm super excited that she's going to be there because, we didn't have a director of photography, and I was like, we should get some people. And I had reached out to a couple of people that were, wonderful, not just like, for just being there and supportive, but just they're all working in the industry. So, I'm very happy that we have Gabby, and she's going to be there.
Sophia Chiapos is also going to be there.
Our first guest that
That's
was
correct.
on our podcast.
Yes,
Yeah,
and then Deborah Adar, I think that's how you say her name. Dina Adar, I'm sorry. My eyes are really bad. And Elizabeth Blake Thompson. Those are the ladies that we have lined up so far for our Celebrating Women event panel and networking. I highly suggest that if for some reason you can't make it throughout the film festival, make it to that. It's going to be an open discussion forum. We're going to discuss things, what to do after the Me Too movement, how to keep ourselves accountable, how to keep the work environment, our set safe. Suggestions on that, inclusion, pay equality, gender equality, all equality across the board. And that takes place on Thursday, November 1st at 8 p.m. Again at Marriott Courtyard in Pasadena.
Old Town Pasadena. Yeah, it's quite nice. Because we have so many strong females that are going to be there. We also, it's welcome to everybody that supports this, and obviously we want to make sure that we're showcasing who they are and what they're all about, and just how we can lift each other up, and hiring each other, and knowing that there are infinite positions that throughout different departments that can be hired out. We're also going to be exclusively screening Skylar Barrett's I Am Christine Blasey Ford project, which we actually did help on that personally. We volunteered time. There was, I think, a total of 35 or 36 females that came out. We also had 2 gentlemen that came out to help as well. Yeah. So we were able to find a location. We were able to get a DP, director, a producer, and hair, makeup, and locations. Also, we had what else did we have, Alexa? I'm blanking.
Well, we had a lot of assistants and amazing women that were on camera.
Oh, yes,
to
PAs.
discuss. Basically, they were reading Christine Blasey Ford's testimony, her statement that she did in front of the Senate.
So we had a multitude of women or identifying women,
correct,
that were there and present. And then we also have a special screening of Celia by Sofia Chiapos. Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. Yes, we're going to be screening Cecilia, is it? By Sofia Chiapos. I'm sorry. I heard you say the name slightly off. That was my fault.
Oh, no. I probably said it wrong. That's fine. So anyways, so just so you know, that screening, we made sure that we had that later in the evening since we know we're all working. Whether you're on set, hopefully you're close by. Pre-sale tickets are $10 and at the door they're $15. So, get your tickets, pre-sale. That way you save yourself $5. Mm-hmm. If you mention that you're going to be there, you can get valet or self-parking a little bit cheaper, discounted as well. Should be a good time. I mean, it was really nice last year. Although we didn't have a panel, we just had a bunch of screenings and the awards ceremony. So that's Thursday. Kickoff Friday.
Yeah, Friday we start off the day at 12 noon, and from there we're going to have screenings throughout the day up until the evening, and then at 8 p.m. we have the closing award ceremonies where we'll announce the films that have won this year's Female Filmmakers Fuse Film Festival. So it should be a fun event overall. We do this every year same reason why we do the podcast is to help promote and influence others to empower and support other female filmmakers. I'm going to step aside from that for a moment. We'll get back to the film festival and continue the promotion of that. But because it's just Robin and I, and this is the first time it's just been us, we should, like Robin said, we should have started the podcast like this. I want to get to know Robin, and I'm sure she can ask me questions as well. Robin is you're a union AC, correct? A union assistant camera?
That is correct.
And then from that, you non-union, you DP.
So non-union, I am a director of photography, and I also camera operate for other DPs. Okay. I started originally as an electrician. Mm-hmm. Because the first thing I would do when I would walk on a set is I would look up at the grid and I'd be like, ooh, where is this light coming from and how can we shape it? So I was very much into that, and I, was drawn to the light, if you will. So I am definitely a woman of light. And from there, my mentor, Wayne Kennan, he actually was the one that was just like, hey, if you really want a DP, you should go into camera. And I was like, but I love lighting. And he's like, yeah, that's great. He's like, and he let me light his sets, which was really lovely. I was very, very blessed with that. I got to know his gaffer and his key grip and all of them. And they also showed me the ropes and were so very kind and just sharing their knowledge. And then I started talking to his camera department a little more because I was so shy, because what I noticed about camera versus G&E is that, G&E would pre-rig and everything would be great, and then they would block everything, and then they would tweak it, and then they would shoot it. But camera was just always there, and they never left the set. They were just constantly on set, for lining up a shot or making sure that like every other department could see the lineup of the shot and what's in frame and how does this light look and this, that, and the other, which was quite wonderful. And so once I got there and I started talking to his camera crew, they were just like, yeah, we're the extensions of him. He trusts us to grab this shot and that shot and to tell the story and to frame something up. And just kind of learned the department. And so what I did when I transitioned is I went on, and luckily enough, I was granted, permission to all of Sony. And so the EP over there had hired me on as a camera PA. And what was beautiful about it is that every time she would hire, she would always make sure that everyone was paid fairly and that nobody's job was taken from somebody else, and she was just all across the board a well-rounded woman, and I really did look up to Barbara Stahl for that.
That's what I want to ask, because that's how you met your mentor, correct?
Yes,
it was through her.
Through her. So I was actually attending Orange Coast College. I went to a 2-year university, and through our professor Martin Martinez, he was the censor guy over at Sony, and so he was just like, "Hey, Robin, can you go pick this person up?" And I was like, "Sure." And he basically forced me into like a literal elevator pitch.
Yeah, so that was a great example of that though too, because which it worked out for you.
Yes, I mean, I was so nervous because I was just like, did he do this on purpose? And then, of course, she's just like, "So what do you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, I really want to DP." And she's like, "Oh, that's amazing." She's like, "Oh my God, you need to come to set." And so she had done her, when I walked her into class, they, obviously they were friends. Mm-hmm. She spoke to the entire class, and she was just like, "Yeah, this is what I do. This is how I run my set. This is what, here's my tidbits of advice." And it was all fantastic and all stuff that I also passed along. Since she was generous enough to share it with me in the class, I also do the same thing. And so at the end of the day, she came up to me and she's just like, "Look," she's like, "I can tell by the way you talk about lighting and wanting to be a DP and you just want to be there." She's like, I'm gonna introduce you to some people." And I was like, "No." She's like, "I'm going to give you my personal number and my personal email. I don't do this." And like, I just saw the entire classroom going, "Oh my God, why are you getting your information?" I was like, "Hee." And then from there, I mean, that's where I met Wayne, and I like was so shy, and I finally, like, after a year asked him, like, "Will you be my mentor?" And he graciously said yes. And so like we have these, really nice conversations whenever I have a question or just wanted to say hello, and like invites me onto set anytime I want to.
And that's what I was going to ask. Do you still
chat with him? Yes.
Yeah. So you're still in contact. He's still your mentor.
Yes.
He's still your mentor.
He'll be my forever mentor. I mean, he is just the sweetest man in the world. And, if you don't know who Wayne Kinnan is, he had done Seinfeld and Rules of Engagement and Dads. And
I didn't even know I was a fan of his work.
Yeah.
Because when I saw it, and I was like, wait, he was the main DP on Seinfeld. And I was like, that's amazing. I was like, this guy is awesome.
Well, okay, so his backstory is quite amazing. Is like he actually got to do handheld camera work on Mork and Mindy.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's awesome.
And so he was so fantastic of an operator that, like this whole like kind of like E&G, like on the fly improv with Robin Williams, because Robin Williams always went off a script,
right.
He had to be there to capture those moments, you know, and it's super fantastic because like multicam, and like he just kind of like the derivative of it, and he just gave me that knowledge. And, like if you're going to set up this shot, then where are you going to go from this? Because like on Rules of Engagement, for example, there was, ABCX. Mm-hmm. So you had 4 cameras, multicam, which has been kind of going away a little bit. And so, I mean, me personally, because I learned from multicam, that has helped me immensely. I didn't realize that a lot of people don't know how to light for multicam. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because usually when you have 2 cameras, especially like feature wise, sometimes they're just like, oh, like we don't want to sacrifice one shot, which absolutely makes sense to tell the story. But at the same time, it's kind of like, how can I light this so I'm not seeing a stand, I'm not seeing a rag, or I don't see a flag, or, I'm not seeing, offset. So, I mean, that kind of definitely helped shape me as a camera operator and DP, because I was able to see that day in and day out. And then when he really saw how comfortable I was, he was like, "Hey, there's a swing away set. Let's see how you light it." And I was like, "Yes." oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so I got to work with his gaffer, Eric Carter, and his key grip, Dan Wells, whom I adore both very fondly. And they just really opened up my eyes, and like any questions I had or any curiosities, and like, you know, I just was so enthralled to be there. It was the most amazing opportunity. And so that's why I'll always, if somebody has a question or someone doesn't know how to do something, or they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, I'll take that time. Yeah. I'll take the time to do it because someone did it for me. And that's kind of who I am by nature, is, you know.
It's rare that people like that exist, where they take the time. It's even rarer not only that they take the time, but they speak to you in a level that makes you feel okay.
Comfortable, yeah.
Exactly. I remember, you remember Peter Hermes? Thank you. I'm really bad with last names. Okay, but you remember Peter. Mm-hmm. I like Peter a lot because he never talks down, ever. No. He always goes out of his way to explain it to you, and if you don't understand it, he'll go two ways. Like, I'm going to explain it to you how it's really simple and easy to get, and then from there I'm going to explain it to you where it sounds difficult, but this is how it's normally explained. That way you understand and you get it because you got the simple way. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to show you the shortcut first, and then I'm going to show you like the difficult way. And I love the fact that he would do that. And I've met your mentor, but I've never had that experience with him. So I imagine it's the same thing, because you mentioned that about Peter when he first did that. Because he did it to you too, because you would ask him, and he was like, yeah, no problem. And then he would explain it to you. It's super rare when you run into people like that, because there's some people that sometimes will explain it to you, but it's almost as if they're talking down to you. And it kind of takes it away. It makes you feel like uninterested. You know, I don't know how to explain it.
I understand what you're saying, and I think it depends on your environment. We're just working with another DP, and you know, he's like, that's good that you take the time. I was ACing, mm-hmm. So the PAs were kind of helping like unload gear, and so I was just telling them to be careful, because like when you grab a C-stand, you know, if you grab it here, then you can pinch your fingers, and they're just like, oh, I didn't know that. I
don't like C-stands. I really don't like them. I try to avoid them at all costs. They're not nice to me. I pinch everything, even if I try to grab it the correct way. I don't like setting them up. I don't like breaking them down. This is why I don't deal with the C-stands.
And that's fine. You know, everybody has their niche, but if you at least taught the right way of how to do something, at least you're aware of how to do it. Right. Especially, you know, sometimes it comes in handy, you know, like if you see something that's unsafe, if, you know, like. I
had a C-stand. It was unsafe. This was during class when we were going to school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was unsafe. Remember? Was
I on set?
You were on set, and you were upset because you were on the other side, and it was so unsafe. And the thing flew, and it hit me, but I stopped it from hitting.
Someone else.
No, it was a vehicle. It was someone's car. We were learning how to light a vehicle, how to flag a vehicle, not light. Well, light and flag a vehicle.
You were trying to cut.
We were cutting light. Yeah, and so.
Why do I not remember this? I do. I do remember.
And it was you and I that was like, that C-stand, that thing is wobbly. That thing's gonna fall. And no one was paying attention.
We were in two different groups. I think I do remember that because, you know, like you're teaching, and at the same time you're in an exterior environment, mm-hmm. So you're not really thinking of it. I mean, that happens on every level though, mm-hmm. too. You know, like the wind gusts come up, mm-hmm. like it's a sail. Like I think I was in the toy district, and we were on the rooftop, and we were shooting a commercial, and the key grip was just like, nope, it's too windy. I'm not putting up a bounce. And I was like, that's rad. Yeah. That's rad that safety came first. I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah.
What can you do? Like, it's, you know, it's just a job.
It wasn't even that windy. I think it was just like, it wasn't.
They just didn't plant it correctly. They
didn't, because it was off balance. It was top heavy, and it just fell over.
Was there a sandbag?
There was a sandbag, not on the right.
On the wrong leg.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that happens. You know, it also could have been like the knuckle was on the left side instead of the right.
I think that's I think it was multiple things that were wrong with it. Like you looked at it, and if you took a picture of it and shared it on, like, there's memes now that they shared me, like, what's wrong with this picture? I think people could have had a good time circling every single thing that was wrong with that. And I happened to be standing, and it was funny because the professor was like, we got to be careful of this car. And I happened to be standing between where the C-stand was in the car, thankfully.
I'm sorry.
And I saw that thing.
You should not have put your body in front of that. It's a car. It could be replaced. You will have one body.
No, this is true. But that was because, what's it called? I was going from one side to the other, and they asked me to go take something, or I don't remember. So it just happened to be that way. And I turned, and I saw it start to fall, and it looked like slow motion to me, and I was like, oh crap. And I looked at the car, and I knew what was going to happen. It was going to dent the hood, probably crack the windshield. It was going to be all bad.
But that's okay. I mean, that's why there's insurance.
It's true.
That's one of the greatest.
That would have been a great lesson.
It would. So here's what's funny. So I was on a set, and this is when I was an electrician, and we were lighting a green screen for like some hero work and stuff. And I don't remember if it was wardrobe or hair and makeup, but like their bag got, I think it was makeup. It got snagged on a light stand, like somehow, and like instead of like looking back to unhook something, they like just yanked, and then like it then toppled over one of our lights, and it shattered the lens.
Oh man.
And then on top of that, the bulb. And so I was just like, nobody got hurt, everyone's fine. And the production manager just came up, and he was just like, hey, this is why we have production insurance.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is the best reaction ever, because you getting upset or anything
doesn't
else
solve anything.
It doesn't. It takes away from everything, and I don't feel like that it adds it. And I think that's definitely a really nice quality to have, perspective wise, as just being on set.
Right.
Because it's true. Like if you get upset, it's kind of like, well, what are you gonna do? Like there's nothing you can do about it, so you might as well just move forward. I mean, yes, of course, it's upsetting. You're down a light, or maybe it's your personal light or whatever. It might take long because it's through insurance. But at the end of the day, it's covered and nobody got hurt. So,
it's true.
That's fine.
Do you get to pick and choose, or not really, the projects that you work on? Are you there yet? I know something.
No.
Are
you there yet? I mean,
No.
You are, because you get to write and create, whatever it is that you want to, which is quite nice. I'm not there yet in the sense of, I'm not like, oh, so good. Just can't take any more appointments.
Well,
I know, I'm just joking. It's more of a, I've become a little more aware of what jobs do I want to work? Mm-hmm. Who do I want to be on set with? Have I done this before? Mm-hmm. And, and then there's always the paycheck jobs where you're just like, it's not like the greatest pay, but I really like hanging out with these people, so I'm going to take it. Or it pays really good, but, it's for the paycheck.
Right.
So it just depends. I mean, what I'd love to be doing is, my ultimate goal, and this is a big goal, is I'd like to have a big budget feature that's either a period piece or drama. Mm-hmm. Would love to do some musical stuff.
Stuff.
Love musicals, and I'm so glad that they're, there's at least been one every year, which is fantastic. Yeah. Those are my favorites. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I
want to do a musical.
Yeah, me too. Huge.
Yeah.
I just really, my favorite thing that I've still shot is the 1920s musical.
I want to do that as a feature.
I mean, let's make it happen. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I would love to do that, especially if we had the budget for it, and working with the production designer and the wardrobe, and just the whole thing. Yeah. That. Yes, that would be a dream. We
worked really hard on that. It was just, for the most part.
That was just you and I.
That's what I was going to say. But we had a good amount of people on set.
We had a crew of 35, casting crew of 35. We shot a 28-page musical that was based in the 1920s in 4 days, and then Alexa decided to be like, hey, I'd like to add an opening sequence, and I'm like, yeah, what do you want? And all of a sudden it was like, oh, I want this, and I was like, done. And then we did it in half a day, and it was fantastic. And I'm still really proud of it. I still love that. Like when I still have that on my reel, and people are like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm like, "Woohoo! I love that."
Yeah, it was fun times. It was one of the funnest times I had on set. That's for sure.
I want to go back to that. I just want to. That was so fantastic because everybody had the same like idea and expectation, and every single person from the bottom to the top.
Now we're here. No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
Good God. Everybody had the same thought process because we had given them the opportunity to be a part of it if they wanted to. And then we like basically, gave them a full breakdown of every single day of what was to be expected and what we were going to do. And we shot it all within 10 hours. Yeah. I mean, that's flippin' awesome. Yeah. I was just on a shoot yesterday, and we had lunch 8 hours after call, 8.5 hours after call.
That's not good.
Insanity.
That's not good.
And that was with a big production. I mean,
where was the AD?
No, AD, everything was there. It was special circumstances. Okay. Everything was warranted. That's okay. By the by. But at the same time, it was just like, wow.
Jeez.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even these huge, big budget projects.
I couldn't do that. I get my sugar levels drop, everything. I get super sick easily.
Oh, no. There's Crafty.
Okay.
They brought in pizza because they're like, oh, for right now, we have to shoot this person out.
So you guys did.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, it wasn't a working lunch. There were 5 meal penalties, exactly. So I'm just saying, like, it was taken care of. It was communicated.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so no matter what kind of project, union, non-union, it happens.
No, I understand that. It's just, I'm just saying, me personally, like, I get sick super easy. Heat makes me super sick. I'm really susceptible. I can't even say the word now, to heat strokes. I get them all the time. I get that. I get migraines, really bad migraines. So the food intake, the water intake, the heat, all that plays into it. So I'm really fun on set, which is probably why I'm not on set as much. So let's learn a little more about Alexa. Hey, I'm not done.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we're halfway through the show, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that was it, because I wanted to see how you got your start. You're, like you said, you're a union AC, but you non-union what again? Camera and DP.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know all this information.
I know this information. I'm just, because I don't want to say it incorrectly, and it's for anyone that's listening.
Well, in all fairness, like, you kind of pushed that whole idea of, oh, we could shoot something, because the very first thing we ever shot was actually a documentary about your cousin's son that had autism.
Oh, yeah.
That was the very first thing. So you actually introduced filmmaking.
And we didn't even shoot it. We had someone shoot it.
We did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
There was, yeah.
Who?
You don't remember?
Oh, it was Peter.
No, it wasn't Peter.
I don't remember.
Sean Rawls, I think his name was.
Oh yeah, pieces of it, right?
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh, okay, we could do this.
Yeah. Later, we did our a different version of it. Yes.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say, because that's what I'm talking about. Us actually.
Oh, okay, I'm saying the very first thing we shot was that.
We did that, and then
that was for the nonprofit, the organization.
Right, and then we also did leukemia and lymphoma.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, so we started in docs.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still shooting docs. We still have
Adventures to La La Land.
2 or 3 that are still kind of open-ended because, for
various reasons.
Jinx. But yeah. So that was actually like where that started. But my love of movies and film came from my grandmother, just always all the musicals and the ballroom dancing and, all those old films. And then my mom gave me my granddad, which I just recently found out that the film camera she gave me is actually my granddad.
Do you still have it?
Of course I do.
That's awesome.
Duh.
That's awesome. Now, my tia Nancy, she's a reason why I really was into movies.
Like horror sadistic movies? Dark movies?
I mean, yeah, but no, yes and no. She showed us like she would babysit us a lot. You know, she'd take care of us because her daughter would always want her to stay if the grown-ups were going out. So my aunt would stay and watch all of us. And she's a cool aunt. You know, like not that not all my aunts are cool, but she's that one that.
She's your crazy aunt.
Yeah. So, you know, here's some chocolate when we shouldn't have chocolate, for example, you know.
For breakfast.
Yeah, she super spoiled us. I loved it. Still do love her. And yeah, I remember watching some crazy, scary stuff. And she would have us like tell us ghost stories and play with Ouija boards and
what?
Yeah, it was fun. And
no. No.
She was super sarcastic, super sadistic, and I love every.
You're like your aunt.
Yeah, I am like her. That's the reason why, though. That's the reason why my mom didn't like that. My mom is very Disney.
I love your mom.
Yeah,
she is Disney princess.
Yeah, my mom is very Disney. She
which I hope she's doing well because right now she's still in the hospital.
She's in the hospital. I don't know if she's listening.
Hopefully she is.
Usually always listens to the podcast, and I don't know if she's listening now. Hopefully she is, but
I just called your mom a Disney princess. Yeah, she's listening.
She's listening. But yeah, so she's all about Disney. I mean, just shows like that, very fairy tale, besides the telenovelas and the game shows. But she's very, she likes the fantasy stuff. And I don't even know why I was going to say that like that. But she's into that. It's very opposite of what my aunt showed us. I mean, my aunt showed us the Disney stuff, the Grease stuff, like Grease movies. And
this is the reason why your mom and I get along.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, oh, you're copying me. I'm like, oh, we both like the same stuff.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But that's, I got into the film because of that, and a lot of it had to do with it was like watching The Little Rascals. I'd watch Our Gang, and it was every Sunday was that and Pippi Longstocking.
Oh my God, I love Pippi Longstocking.
Right? And we would sit there and watch that in the mornings, and I loved every moment of it, every minute of it.
It played in the morning?
Sundays,
where was I?
It was, I don't know, I didn't know.
I've only seen Pippi Longstocking the movie.
Yeah, it was on Sundays. It start off with cartoons, Our Gang, and then it go from there to Pippi Longstocking.
They would play the movie every Sunday?
There wasn't only one movie, was there?
Yeah, I mean, okay. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know.
I only knew there was one Pippi Longstocking.
I think they cut it up in sections then. Because I remember watching sections of it, and I thought it was several different parts of it. Like maybe they made it like a mini series at one point. But I remember seeing it on Sundays. It was on Sundays, and I remember it was Channel 5 here in LA. They don't do that anymore. It sucks. I wish they really brought that back.
Yeah. That's all. I mean, Tom and Jerry talk now.
Yeah.
Let's just not go there.
Okay.
I mean, I miss Bugs Bunny and Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
But it was because of Our Gang. I would watch these kids doing adult things, not to sound like that sounds wrong. Like they would play, let's play a courthouse. You know, these kids got into an argument. Let's make all these kids go to court and discuss it and argue it that way, like an adult, and try to figure it out as an adult. Let's do a theater show like adults do, and that's what I mean when they would do adult things. And it was really cool because you would see these kids get super creative, and I always thought like, wow, those kids are awesome. I have a bunch of cousins and my brothers, and mainly my younger brother because my older brothers were too cool for me. I said, we can be Our Gang, and that's what we started to do. We would do our own shows. We would do, you know, and I feel bad for my aunts because they had to sit through all this crap.
Wasn't that like you and Rudy and like Renzo?
All my cousins, yeah. It was all of us, and we would do it every time we'd get together. We'd do some crazy stuff, and but that was the influence. It was because of Our Gang, and because of that too, it's just like I want to make movies. I want to make shows. I want to do that stuff because I thought it looked fun.
My favorite childhood memory of yours is when you and Rudy were doing the military. Please share this because I think we should make this a short, and you can use Jordan and Brooklyn.
Okay.
If they allow us. Maybe I could talk my little best friend into it.
Brooklyn,
we'll
yeah.
see.
We'll see. She's really difficult with this.
Well, if she doesn't have to talk, she can just be you. Yeah. So, I mean, she's got the attitude for
she does. My Uncle Danny gifted every family, every household in our family, like my aunts and stuff like that. He gifted them all a camcorder. And because my mom didn't really know how to use it, she said, here, you can use it. You can, just as long as you film all the stuff that we need to film for family. And I was like, okay. So I got this camera and I told my brother, like, let's make a movie. And across the street from our house, there was this, it was kind of like sort of like a hill, but not really. And the grass was super long. And we decided to do a military movie because my brother at the time, Rudy, would always wear like military garb, like the
camouflage,
the fatigues and everything. So he was so into that when he was super young, and he dressed up like it, and he's like, all right, let's do this. And we went across the street and we put the little military men on the grass. And so I got the camera and I was going up the hill. It looked like a drone footage, and I was like, the helicopter, and you see the little military men laying down, and then all of a sudden it pans up and there's my brother laying with the grass sort of hiding his face, and he looks like he's about to attack. And that's all the extent of what I remember doing it. I thought it was a cool shot. That's a
rad shot. That's what I'm saying. He's so cute.
I think I was like 9. I want to say I was like yeah, I think I was 8 or 9 when we did that.
Dude, this is perfect. I'm telling you right now, it really should be. We should make a short of this, and it just be like a writer's memory. Or you should build it into something that you can write as a script, or like a web series. That'd be such a great thing to do.
Yeah, it was fun.
If we were to do like this web series idea, and it would just be childhood memory recreations.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Like, hello.
Yeah.
I just stumbled on something new. I'm copywriting right now.
She's doing it right now, guys. But yeah, that's what I did. So I was always into it. I still obviously am. There's times obviously where it gets tough because this industry is tough and I just want to give up. Who doesn't go through that? But it's because of these weekly shows that keep me inspired, because I'm always meeting some amazing filmmakers here and they're always sharing their great stories, and I'm like, that's really cool. All right. And I leave feeling good, like, okay, I can do this. It's good therapy, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't talk about how difficult this industry is.
It's
and
very
I think
difficult.
that is something that we should definitely, that's why I always like to ask, like, what's the most difficult thing, or what have you run into? But, like I said, I mean, it definitely isn't easy. I mean, I know it seems like from what my backstory was that it was easy. It's definitely not.
No.
I mean, the transition to...
It was super easy for you.
No. So transitioning from electric to camera, like I was an electrician. I knew gaffers and best boys and, key grips and,
Still don't know what a best boy is, but yeah.
It's like the second in the hierarchy of electric team.
Okay.
So the gaffer is the key.
Okay.
That's the person that will speak with the director of photography about lighting, and then the key grip is the key, or the head of the department over the grips.
Right.
And so best boy is a second in command, which means that they stay on the truck, make sure everything's organized, they have everything, they make the orders, they cut the gels. Like, you're asking me, I'm telling you.
No, I know. It's just, no, it's not that. I'm just saying, not knowing this stuff, when I sit and go to the movies, I wait until the end credits are done. Mm-hmm. I sit there until every single name is read. Okay. And I always used to giggle. And this is before I was working in this industry. I always used to giggle when I see Best Boy. Cause I was like, because I thought, not knowingly, that's the person that was their favorite in the crew. He was the best boy on the crew. So I always giggle, and I was like, good for so-and-so. He was the best boy on the crew. So I did.
That's hilarious.
You know, and it was obviously still, you know, we're transitioning that slightly, but it was always a man's world in this industry.
Well,
and
a lot of the terminology is definitely old school.
Right. We're not going to go into that, but yeah.
No, I'm just saying that's where a lot of it derives.
No, I get it. And that's...
They have, you know, corrected it. I mean, I was on set and...
So best boy still best boy.
No, well, okay. So when there is a lady that is the best girl, I did ask production, can you please change that to best lady?
Oh, and have they done that?
And of course they do.
On credit, though?
Yes, they put it on. I believe so. I mean, the movie hasn't been released, but
okay.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. I'm curious.
Here's the thing: if you were to swing it that way, you know, here's me being devil's advocate. If you were to swing it that way and say instead of best boy, best lady, you know, like
just call it best.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and the only reason I want to say okay.
Okay.
I don't know that. Okay, so God, just lots of tangents. But yeah,
focus.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, like if you were to do that, you know, like there, you know, instead of it being cameraman, it's camera operator. I mean, I don't think I ever called it a cameraman. I always called it a camera operator or cam op.
I catch myself, and I do it a lot here on the show, where I say you guys, and I try to correct myself.
So here's the thing. With guys, it can be unisex.
I know.
It's not a gender specific.
I know.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I guess it depends on who you're talking to. But yeah, you should absolutely try to, like, correct your verbiage.
I
and
try.
Be well aware of what's going on.
I'm totally aware of it.
Yeah,
like, I notice it more now. It's just like, I just said that.
And that's fine. It's fine. I mean, I don't take offense to it. Like, there are times where, like I'm the only female on the crew, and they're just like, hey, guys, and lady. And I'm like, thank you. You know, like, it's kind of fun because you're not there to, like, not have a good time.
And so now I'm going to ask a difficult question.
Oh, good God. We didn't even finish all about you. This is not a show about Robin.
It's not a show about me either. But here's the thing: is I'll say this: I'm slowly building up the courage to speak up and out about certain events in my life, because I'm always having to prove myself, and I feel that it's the time now for me to do that. Okay. I'm not going to do it over the show because it's going to take the whole show to do that. Okay. But it will be out there soon, and I'm just working on that right now. I'm not going to go into detail right now, but I've been talking to people about it, so I'm getting the courage to do that.
That's good. And
so once I do that, I can clarify some things, and I hope. I mean, I'm sure there's backlash on everything, but I'm hoping that it's more of a positive than a negative.
Well, here's the thing.
And it encourages others as well. It's a learning lesson.
So here's the thing with that. With anything that becomes scary, anything that you are fearful of, whether it's your mentality or somebody else's outlook upon you, which usually tends to be like a human nature thing. So I had received the best piece of advice. God rest his soul, Mark Combs. He's the first person that introduced me to lighting and gave me that opportunity. He told me, he said, you know what, Robin? He's like, if they don't like you for the ray of sunshine that you are, he's like, fuck them. And I was like, whoa, Mark. And he's like, you need to learn how to say that. It's true, though. No, absolutely, because it's true. Like, I mean, I'm pretty face value.
You are, and here's the thing: is because I know you personally, and for many years now, and we've worked professionally together a few times as well. I know there's times where, you've gotten lost in that, and I could be wrong.
No, yeah.
You know, but I also see that you're trying to make an effort to right your wrongs. They're not even your wrongs, but I'm saying, like, you know, right yourself from not falling victim into that, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like if you fall into a crowd where people don't appreciate you and you're working hard to have them appreciate you, that's not up to you to work hard for them to appreciate you. You don't have to do that.
No, I'm doing it for myself. You know, like, for me, I know what I'm capable of. Right. I know my strong points. I know my weaknesses. You know, everybody has their faults.
Snakes. Those are my weaknesses. Reptiles. So, sorry, go on.
No, you're fine. I mean, here's the thing. I truly believe that you're constantly learning and growing and making mistakes. And with those mistakes and with those failures, I don't look at them as a bad or negative. I look at them as you need to do something better, and you need to do it now because you have one life, you have a short amount of time. Anyone that knows me, I want to be productive, I want to be efficient, and I want to get things done right. And if I don't do it right, I'll owe up to the mistake. I'll owe up to something that I've done that is not right, and I'm okay with that. That's who I am. But at the same time, I will bust my ass to make sure that if things are taken care of, you feel comfortable, you know, and you know, it's difficult. It's a challenge, and it's a constant challenge. But if you don't have that comfortability with who you are, I don't feel like you're going to make that progress. And you have to keep building upon that. And I mean, it's just what it is. Yeah.
And I think the reason why we're there's some similarities that you and I share, and then there's a lot of differences that we have as well. And I think that's the reason why, going back to the whole Female Filmmakers Fuse Film Festival, it works out. You and I started that over a year ago. This is the second year.
I was like going on 2 years.
2 years now. I hope everyone is able to come out and support, especially these fantastic, amazing female filmmakers and their counter partners as well. So come out. It's November 1st and 2nd. You can find ticket information on femalefilmmakersfuse.org. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Female Filmmakers Fuse. Obviously, it's all simple.
And YouTube.
And YouTube, yes.
And, you know, like we said, you can come to the website, introduce yourself. We've been having lots of people that are working with each other because of this podcast and because of the festival, and that's all it is. It's just lifting each other up and empowering one another. And
real quick, so you can find Robin on her Instagram. It's Robin Pabello, ROBINPABELLO. That's her Instagram. My Instagram, if for some reason you want to come to my Instagram,
of course we do.
It's Alexa Polar, ALEXAPOLAR. That's my Instagram. Pretty simple. To the point. First name, last name. That's it. That's who we are.
OG.
We don't have to put the real, because I doubt anyone wants to be us. So we're good. It's just us. So Robin Pabello Instagram, and at Alexa Polar Instagram. And again, Female Filmmakers Fuse this coming Thursday and Friday. Come check us out.
Come say hello. I'm so excited.
Yes. Have a good Sunday, everyone.
Have a great week. We'll see you on Thursday and Friday.
You're listening to Female Filmmakers Fuse with Alexa Polar, only on LA Talk Radio.